Shanghai, ably managed by Mr. Mark Ralph. Now for Shanghai, playing against Tycho Place, Scottish Exiles, which is made up largely from the local club of Hong Kong Scottish.
Scottish Exiles and the Devil Zone, Shanghai Silver Dragon.
So, classically, the Shanghai team have often been the whipping boys of this tournament, but they came and gave it some bite yesterday. They, in their first game up, they opened the scoring against one of the top seeds.
Silver Dragon, silver and black.
Just watching the old Tim McCosker walking past from Corfit Physio here in Hong Kong. He's done a great job patching up these boys in the last few years here at the football club. So good to see Tim McCosker back with his business.
Better known as Mungo. And so here we go for the second game, about to get underway. The Scottish Exiles kicking off towards the Sportsman's Bar down here at Hong Kong Football Club.
All quarterfinal. Scottish Exiles in yellow. And the Shanghai Silver Dragons.
Now referee for this game,
The silver black.
local referee Rowan Turner. We're enjoying the opportunity to referee some of these quality players here at this tournament. So first put in at the first scrum as the Shanghai team. Pretty solid into the contact there.
Keeping strong on his feet. Ooh, and he's kept the ball in as well. Well done.
Good defence there from Ben Cullen on the wing. And Lewis Warner takes a fairly heavy contact there. He brings the guy down. He's up and smiling. He's letting the guy know that it's coming back the other way in a minute, I think. He immediately gets his own back there.
Took his eye off the ball there.
So knock on by Shanghai, and Ben Cullen got the opportunity to counter-attack, but dropped the ball in the contact there.
There's some big hits going on here, so I'll see there's no love lost between these two teams.
So Bryn Phillips puts the ball in, squirts out on the right hand side, so he decides to come down here. Drops the ball off to Ben Cullen, who fumbles it in the contact again.
Working hard on his feet. As you notice, there's two in the ruck, well, three in the ruck now, and good support.
So Luke van der Schmidt of the Sandy Bay Club getting in and over the ball. He was a few years ago, he was in the wider Blitzbokker squad.
Well, that ball has not found touch.
Craig Hammond, the Exiles coach, will be going spare on the bench there. So the Exiles really putting the heat on in defence, forcing the Shanghai team back to just outside their own 22, forcing it into contact. Ben Cullen really strong there.
I say the difficulty with this these tennis-side games, it's a 15-style game, but played obviously 10 minutes each way, and the pace is quite furious. So you do have to have your fitness with you and ready for some big hits.
So referee Rowan Turner blowing the whistle. Penalty for not rolling away in the contact there. Looks like Shanghai are going to kick to the touch.
This one found touch, which is it's important. It's a nice find there as well.
Yeah, carves off fully 35 metres there. Didn't look like he wasted too many inches on that one, just creeping over the touchline. So Devil Zone Shanghai. Silver Dragons throwing into this line-out. Good take at the front. He goes for the wraparound. I've been watching George Ford, Owen Farrell. Bryn Phillips, he was looking for the counter-attack there. Unfortunately left the ball behind.
Yeah, as I say, this type of surface is quite unpredictable. Cookie, it's the ball sits up quite well, and it's the small little the black ball bearings there, sort of rubber bearings on the floor that cause the ball to do some different sort of moves.
There we go, Shanghai feeding this scrum. It's probably the most solid scrum they've had there. Lead blocker there, a la NFL style, taking out the defender. But referee Turner sees that. Bryn Phillips spreads the ball wide and they get the ball out to the edge in contact there.
It's a fairly even game at the moment. Both sides are evenly matched. Some big hits going in, and
yeah, Shea Turner of the Exiles there, their hooker, takes that ball solidly into contact, but
player coming in from the side, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Penalty.
So Lewis Warner holds that ball up in a great line there. This is some good hands from the Exiles.
Yeah. It's keeping that ball retention now and basically rebooting their attacking line.
And that ball played back inside. And there it is, the first score, Luke van der Schmidt.
The breakthrough. Number 3, Luke van der Schmidt.
Down the years, the Sandy Bay Rugby Club have had quite a few South Africans, but Luke van der Schmidt is the first Dutchman that we've had, and I've got to say he's proved way more durable than the English fellas that we've had. He's played every game this season and not got broken, which is always good to see.
I might either clarify that there on the
So that's a good start as we're about halfway through this first half. The Scottish Exiles, I think they're good for their 7-point lead that they've got here, Robin.
Yeah, definitely. I say it was looking quite even there, but that was a nice work, well worked try from the Exiles. So
the Exiles have been fairly solid in defence whenever Shanghai have had the ball, keeping really good defensive shape, not committing too many people into that breakdown and contact area.
So the exit strategy is basically holding on to that ball and running it out. Some good strong work here. That's a lovely pass off the back of the hand.
Lewis Warner with some great defence there, putting the pressure on as the Scottish Exiles flood back. Jason JM, probably one of the smallest players in the entire tournament, but a Hong Kong international, both 7s and 15s. Puts that on the toe and immediately takes the play back into Shanghai's half. So we're inside the final 2 minutes. Chooses to put the leather onto the ball, runs the ball nicely down into the Scottish 22. It'll be a Scottish throw.
Now a chance to put a bit of pressure on them in the line out. Man up and one.
So the head coach of Scottish Exiles is Mr. Craig Hammond. Oh, and that's a bad overthrow. Been swept onto by Shanghai. And they've struck back within the shadows of half time there.
So not a bad little tactic to use. Actually, put the ball down behind and into the 22, and bit of pressure on at the line out. Obviously, that could be their weak link at the moment.
Yeah. As I say, I'd imagine that Craig Hammond, the Scottish Exiles coach, he's there on the touchline, screaming a few instructions. Not at all happy with that. And the conversion is good, so we're tied up with about 10 seconds to go to half time. Scottish Exiles 7 and Shanghai 7. So there's just enough time for this restart, Robin. What do we think the Exiles will do? Will they take the 7 points, or are they going to try and go all the way and put another score on before half time?
Well, I think like every second counts. You need to, if you can, get that ball down there and. Oh, there we go. We have another one there.
Ashton Hyde lost the ball in contact there. The referees ruled that as a deliberate knockdown, but I think that was just a loose carry from Scottish, and I think they're quite lucky to get away with that. Here's Bryn Phillips. Moves the ball wide out to Jason Jayan.
That's a great kick across the park, and now it's just a foot race.
And it looks like Scottish have won that foot race.
Referee's having a word with the touchy,
and he gives it. And that try is scored by Gare Curry. Again, another Sandy Bay representative playing for the Scottish Exiles. He's had a fantastic season. Playing at number 13, a tough place to play in a team that's going backwards all season, and he's been the player of the season for Sandy Bay, and a great conversion there. So, as I said, would the Scottish take the 7 points they had and go in at 7-all? But no, they've run it the length of the field and go in with a 7-point lead.
Yeah, that was a nice try, actually. Very nice.
Very good vision there on the touchline from Jason J.M. and a really good finish by Gare Curry there. I was lucky enough, he was sitting on my table at one of the dinners last night, Robin, and his mother and father are here to visit him. I'm sure Mum and Dad will be proudly in the stands here.
So I take it he had an early night then?
Yeah, he was away relatively early. I think he probably left the venue just before midnight. I don't know if that meant he was heading on down to Wanchai. But there were some absolutely fantastic dinners in town last night. As we know, there was the big one at the Hyatt in aid of Doddy Weir. Apparently a fantastic evening was had by all. So Shane Horgan was appearing at the Irish Chamber of Commerce and at the JP Morgan Sandy Bay dinner. We were lucky enough to have David Trick and Eric Rush, and one of those dinners, Robin, I can tell you, the two speakers were like chalk and cheese, but both brilliant in their own way.
Lovely. Well, that's what rugby's about, isn't it? Eh?
Absolutely.
People from all different walks of life, all getting together and enjoying a great day, and obviously having a great evening for a good cause as well.
And Rushy was regaling us of stories of being at the palace and meeting the Queen and Lady Di, and talking about some of the irreverent things that Glenn Osborne was saying about Lady Di and the Queen. So as we start the second half, 7-point advantage for the Scottish Exiles. Oh, really good show and go there.
So they possibly will slow this game down a little bit.
He actually puts that one into touch. So right here on halfway now, Scottish Exiles. So Shay Turner Puts the ball in, and at the front of the line out there for Scottish Exiles, Sam Hocking. He actually retired from playing in the Premiership this year, and he coached USRC Tigers to a league title, their first silverware in many a year. So good to see the fella out there and working hard.
Ball's being held up. Ball's gone down. Shanghai ball.
So I think it's really important for the Exiles that they get off to a good start. If Shanghai get the first score here, they're right back in this game, but I think the Exiles will be looking to try and extinguish all hope. Just on halfway, Shanghai feed this scrummage. That's a good scrummage. The Exiles have disrupted them, turned them, and they've got the penalty. Curry immediately in, drops the ball off to Sam Hocking, who's going route one. Works hard, Jason Jam comes in, clears the ball. Curry through with a great offload there. They spread the ball wide. Touchline there, and they've turned the ball over. Interesting to see whether Shanghai boot the ball here, Robin, or whether they try and actually run this ball out of their own 22.
I think they're going to do plan B and try and run it out. Might be a smart move, trying to keep that ball in hand.
Scottish Exiles there really keeping their shape, putting the pressure on, and eventually the mistake by Shanghai under pressure. We've got a scrum feed now to the Exiles on the Shanghai 22.
Yep, this could be the turning point of the game actually, Cookie, with if the Exiles get the pill down over the line, then yeah, it could be the game over for the Shanghai team. Young
Curry normally plays in the midfield, packing down in the second row. I'm guessing his ears will be burning. And he's got to say, he is locking like a midfielder there. Gare played for a number of seasons before he came to Hong Kong for the Loughborough Students. It's a pretty solid scrummage though. Lewis Warner there fends and spins out of that tackle and gets the ball to Ben Cullen, who dots down with a really good finish in the corner there, Robin.
That was a very good run.
So both Ben and Lewis recently played for the Hong Kong A team against Singapore, both debuting, both about to become qualified to play for Hong Kong. So Hong Kong took on Singapore in a warm-up game 2 weekends ago, and they put 90 points on the Singapore national team. Reminiscent of those days when Hong Kong got a 140-0 win. Were you playing in that game, Robin?
On the bench.
On the bench. Could anybody get the ball out of Ash Billington's hands that day? He scored a world record 10 tries in a World Cup game.
Yep, it was a sight to see, I must admit. It's yep, don't think you would do that nowadays.
So a really high restart there from the Exiles. With the ball already slipping into touch. Shanghai force it in there, which gives Scottish the put in. And then Lewis Warner, he had a great game for the A side. Good footwork there and a good offload. And knowing it was offside at the breakdown there, he tried to wander reverse pass around the back.
Oh, gone across field as well.
But unfortunately, the man that was chasing that was locked forward. Jamie Pincott was probably not the man to be doing that to. If it were Julian Salvia or someone of the like, but Gare Curry
After much discussion, the try is awarded.
in for his second try of the game. Probably
Yeah,
feeling really glad that he went home early last night.
Well, the Exiles are definitely taking control of this game. They've turned the notch up a bit more, and they've not only have they kept possession of the ball, they are hitting their lines of running well, very well.
So Gare Curry there nails the conversion to his own try. So Scottish Exiles now leading this 26 points to 7, about 3.5 minutes to go. But Shanghai are still game for this, bringing the ball into contact. It's about the third time they've tried to run the ball out of their own 22 in this half. Here they come again, moving the ball out to their right wing. Good tackle on the inside there by Jamie Pincott. And now brought the ball into the Scottish half, which is the first time that Shanghai have done that in this second half.
It's keeping that ball possession now.
Importantly though, the Scottish Exiles have really kept their defensive shape here. Commentators curse. Oh, somebody steps out of the line, they take the advantage, get the offload, and there we are, a try in front of the Sportsmen's.
Nice support.
And that's the second try to Shanghai. On left ball.
Another great little offload there. Drops the ball down in front of the Sportsmen's. This is the second game of the day, the GFI Hong Kong Football Club 10s. By the end of the day, this ground will be rocking. We've got the public holiday here today, Robin, Qing Ming.
Qing Ming.
Unfortunately, you and I are here commentating, which means we can't be out sweeping the graves of our ancestors. So Luke van der Schmidt there. What a worrying sight coming towards you. Probably about 112 kilos. Prime Dutch biltong meat coming at you. So Jason Jam takes it quickly. His dancing feet. Ashton Hyde takes the offload, and Jason Jam in, clears the ball quickly. And there he is, Alessandro Nardoni, one of the Hong Kong Sevens Sports Institute athletes, docks down.
For the Scottish Exiles.
He's going to take his own drop kick, which he misses.
Well, that was quite a nice bit of play there by the Exiles. Keep it simple, take it up the guts until they shorten the defensive chain, and then ball got spun out wide. So
this will probably be about 30 seconds to go on the clock. I've actually put the ball out to the right-hand side. And Shanghai, I've got to say, they've really manned up in this game. They haven't given up, although they've been under fairly severe pressure. The Exiles just sitting back in the defensive line, waiting for them to come. Van der Schmidt going for the turnover there, but his hands going onto the floor and then dragging back onto the ball. Referee Rowan Turner sees through it straight away, so he awards the penalty on halfway to Shanghai. And number 15 there drops it onto the toe, gets a fortunate bounce. And Jason Jam in and over that ball. The referee again says too slow.
yeah, slightly unlucky there. We thought he was in a good position, but referee saw different. Be nice to have one last try. That'd be a nice way to finish for the Shanghai team.
And a late consolation there for the Shanghai Silver Dragons.
Tawafua makes that score there. This conversion will be the last action we see in this second bowl quarterfinal here in the beautiful city of Hong Kong.
So we say farewell now to the Shanghai team. Well done, and thank you for joining up to the Hong Kong Football Club 10s.
Well, they will actually have a Shield semi-final. Everybody who plays, win or lose in these first round games today, Robin, they will get a second game. The winners go to the bowl semi-final, which will be Scottish Exiles. Will probably be taking on the Classic Wallabies, and Shanghai will head south to the Shield semi-final later on in the day.
Thanks for clearing that up, Cookie.
I do everything that I can. So now the CCIG Tigers will be taking on Sedbergh School. HKFC in the first Shield semi. The third